Sure. Hello everyone, welcome to the class. Uh, so today we are going to start the topic that is function. In yesterday we have completed the topic that is relation, and today we'll try to complete this topic that is function. Okay, guys. So hope before starting the class, what I'm suggesting to all of you, just let's have a technical check. I'm launching the poll. Yes, poll has been launched already. You can respond in the chat poll whether my voice is clear to all of you or not, and my screen is visible clearly or not. Respond in the chat box, everyone. Okay. चलो ठीक है. So I hope everything is clear. It's good to start. ठीक है. Start करते हैं. Okay. So what is function? है ना? We already studied what is relation and also what is the domain, range, codomain of a relation, and also we have seen also some examples of relations in the last class. है ना? So here in today's class, what we are trying to understand what is function actually. है ना? In simple words, I can say you function means actually क्या है? It's a mathematical machine, है ना? So all of you know. So what is a machine? Machine means you have to give some input and that machine gives you some output also, right? Likewise, तुम कोई भी एक फ्रूट जूस का मशीन ले आओ, ठीक है? जैसे ही हम फ्रूट डाल देते हैं जूसर में, then what you are getting? You are getting in juice in liquid form, right? So here my fruits are input and my juice is my output, right? So like this we can compare this function with a machine only, है ना? And we can say also कि actually it's a mathematical machine, है ना? To whom will give some input and that machine will give some output to you, right? ठीक है? So what is function here? Function is a relation between two sets. One set is input, another set is output, with the property that each input related to exactly one output. है ना? So each input in the set exactly related to one output. This is the condition of a relation to be a function, right? So let's see what is the definition actually. This is your mathematical definition. Suppose A and B are two non-empty sets you have, and a relation F which is defined from set A to B, and relation, we know relation is a subset of also Cartesian product, is called function from A to B, right? So this is the what I'm saying, this is the mathematical definition. And what are the conditions if for each A? Try to understand. For each A belongs to the set A, that means for each element of set A, for that element there exists an element B in the set B, such that the order pair AB must be belongs to A. And the second condition is AB order pair belongs to the relation F and AC belongs to the relation F, then we can say B is equal to C. Because in the previous slide what I have told you, okay, each input has exactly one output. That means if A has the output, if when we are giving the function A as input, then you are getting B as my output, right? Similarly, that means for each A we should have one element. For that A we should have only one element in B, right? That means A B must be equal to C. Then we can say it is a function, है ना? So in simple words, है ना, this is your mathematical definition. In simple words we can say, see here, है ना, a function must satisfy two conditions. First one is each and every element in set A each and every element in set A should have one image in set B, right? याद रखो सबको, each and every element in set A should have one image in set B, right? And the second is every element in set A should have only one image in set B. So what is image, what is element, है ना, ये तो आपको समझ में आ रहा होगा ना, ठीक है। चलो नेक्स्ट देखते हैं उसका रिप्रेजेंटेशन कैसा है ना। सपोज तुम्हें previously you already studied this topic in your school also, है ना। Suppose I am taking a function, है ना, suppose I am taking a function y is equal to f of x, right? Y is equal to f of x. Okay, so here my x is my input, है ना, here x is my input and y is my output, right? So x is called the independent variable and y is called the dependent variable. Why it is called independent, why it is called dependent, है ना, because the value of y is always depends upon x. That's why x is independent and y is dependent and f is my function. You can take an example. Suppose I am taking here a function f of x is equal to 3x plus 1, right? Here I am trying to, what I am doing, so if I give some input to my function, suppose I am taking x is equal to 2. For x is equal to f of 2, when I am putting in place of x 2, so what you are getting, 3 into 2 plus 1, that is 7. So 7 is your output and input is your 2. Similarly here also I have taken another example, that is f of minus 4, right? And f of minus 4 क्या हो जाएगा तुम्हारा, 3 into minus 4 plus 1, that is 11. क्या हो जाएगा, that is 11. Okay, है ना? So this is all about your representation of function, right? Okay, now we are taking one example. Suppose here I have taken some examples. You have to choose whether it is a function or not. So let's consider the first example. That is, you have a set A and set B, and f is a function which is defined from, which is mapping from set A to B. Here is my function. Okay. Now tell me whether it is a function or not, है ना? Whether it is satisfying my condition or not, है ना? So that means what are the conditions? The condition is the elements A contains the elements, जो भी elements A में है ना? The elements present in set A, right, must have only one image in set B. देखो, so one image of 1 is 4, है ना, ये मेरा इमेज होगा, ठीक है। 4, 1 is related to 4, that means 4 is my image, and 1 can be said the pre-image of 4. 4 is, here we can say 4 is image of 1, and reversely we can say 1 is pre-image of 4, ठीक है। Okay, so देखो, each and every element must have only one image in set B, है ना। So 1 का image क्या है, image of 1 is 4, image of 2 is 5, image of 3 is also 5, right, है ना। So it is satisfying my condition. So then we can say this is a function. It's simple, very simple, है ना। Okay, consider the second example. What is that? Suppose here also you have a function f which is mapping from set A to B. Here it check and tell me whether it is a function or not. और 5 is image of 1, ठीक है। 6 is image of 2 and 3. But 4 has no image. 4 has no image. So it is not a function. Why it is not a function? Because by our definition, the each and every element of set A has only one image in set B. मतलब 4 का image ही नहीं है मेरे पास, है ना। 4 has no image. That's why it is not a function. And I hope it is clear to all of you guys. Okay, come to the third one. Okay, come to the third one. Okay, here you can see, है ना, 1 is related to 5. That is 5 is image of 1. 6 and 7 are image of 2, है ना। So 2 has 2 image, but it's violating our definition of function or not, है ना। So what I told you that each and every element must have only one image in set B. So 2 is the element which is present in set A that has two images in set B. So which is not possible in case of function. So it is not a function. है ना? It is not a function. But in case of fourth one, देखो 6 is image of 1, 2, 3. है ना? 6 is image of 1, 2 and 3 also. ठीक है? That means it is satisfying my condition or not of a function. ये satisfy कर रहा है कि नहीं? Yes, because first condition क्या था? First condition condition तो एक ही तुम बोल सकते हो कि that is actually each and every element of set A must have only one image in set B. देखो 1 का image 6 है, 2 का image 6 है, 3 का image 6 है. It is possible, but in the third case, what is happening? We cannot take this example as a function because the element 2 which is present in set A has two images in set B. The condition is each and every element of A must have or should have only one image in set B. But यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है? 2 का तो दो इमेज है ना. That's why it is not a function. But in the fourth one, it is a function. Guys, now you have a concept test and you have 1 minute to solve this question. I'm launching the poll for this question, है ना? MCQ poll, है ना? You have to tell me what is the answer actually, है ना? Which of the following is or are function? कौन function हो जाएंगे और कोई नहीं होगा? You can chat, you can text your answer in the chat box. YouTube guys also you can answer in the chat box. Everyone, yes. YouTube guys, Zenvi Varga, which is the function, है ना? Which of the following is or are a function? Condition is, again I am telling, है ना? Each and every element of set A should have only one image in set B. So which is satisfying this condition and which one is violating the condition of function? Who can say? Quick. Okay, so let's see. What is the answer? Let's see. What I'm saying here, the first and third one are functions, but the second and fourth one are not functions. Why they are not functions? Let's check. Okay. See, in the set A, we have 4 elements A, B, C, D. And each has image in set B. And those are having only one image in set B. So it is a function, right? But in the second case, here in set A, there is an element that is D, which has no image in set B. That's why it is not a function. Because why it is not a function? And D has no image. D has no image in B. So that's why it is not a function. But in case of third, each element are having one image in set B. C and D are having same image. But they are having one image. They are having one image. Don't be confused. They are having one image, only one image in set B. Okay, that's why it is a function. देखो, A has image P, B has image Q, C has image R, D has image R. ठीक है? Okay, so that's why it is a function. But in case of fourth example, you can visualize here. Here you can simply say that A has two images. A has two images, which is violating our condition of a function. Because we know that each and every element of set A must have only one image in set B for a relation to be a function, right? But here we are getting A has two images. That's why it is not a function. So it is not a also function. I hope this is clear to all of you guys. If you have any doubt, you can write in the chat box. Chalo, let's move. Yeah. Now we'll see representation of function. How can we represent the function? Already you know from the class 10, तुम्हें जब भी कोई भी स्ट्रेट लाइन का ग्राफ बनाने दिया जाता था तो तुम क्या करते थे, है ना। सपोज मैं तुम्हें ये दे दूंगा y इज इक्वल टू एक्स प्लस थ्री, ड्रॉ द ग्राफ ऑफ y इज इक्वल एक्स प्लस थ्री, तो तुम क्या करते ना, you will make a table, है ना, you will take some values of x and you will get some y, है ना, then you will plot all these points in the plane, then you have to join those points and you will get a line, है ना. In similar way, in the same way, we can draw the graph of functions or we can represent the function as a table, right. Graph also we can draw by using the table, है ना. Mapping diagram already we have seen, है ना, in the previous example. Equation y is equal to f of x is equal to x square, it's a function, है ना. Order pairs also we can represent the function in the set of order pairs. How? Now those elements, see, minus 1 1, 1 is image of minus 1, 0 is image of 0, 1 is image of 1 and 4 is image of 2. In this way also we can represent to the function, right? Clear? Chalo, let's move. Okay, here you have one activity. It's very simple. You have given that f of x is equal to 2x minus 5. You have to find the values of f of 0, f of 7, f of minus 3. तो क्या हो जाएगा? It's very simple ना. क्या हो जाएगा? 2 into 0 minus 5, that is minus 5, है ना. f of 7 क्या हो जाएगा? 2 into 7 minus 5, that is 14 minus 5, है ना, that is 9, है ना. Minus 3 क्या हो जाएगा? 2 into minus 3 minus 5, that is minus 6 minus 5, the minus 11, है ना. So these are the answer, है ना. Sure. Next. Okay, now we'll see one important test, है ना, to check whether a relation is a function or not, right? And this is called vertical line test. ठीक है, it's a very simple concept, है ना, इसमें कुछ भी नहीं है. Suppose here I am giving 3 graphs of functions, है ना. Suppose this is my function, okay. It's okay. First, what I'm trying to explain, that is actually, suppose I'm giving you a graph of a function. Suppose here I'm taking a circle. So tell me whether it is a function or not. Whether it is function or not. No, it's not a function, because see here, why it is not a function? I can see here, if when I'll draw a vertical line by making parallel to y-axis on the graph and on the given graph, what we are getting here, you can visualize, है ना. Suppose this point is my x1, है ना. Suppose this point is my x1 and this point is y1, this point is y2. So for one value of x, है ना, so here I am getting f of x1 is equal to y1 and f of x2 is also y2, है ना, है ना. So for f of x1 is equal to y2, है ना. So for one value of x, for one values of x, we are getting two values of y, which is violating our conditions of a function, because for a single for a single element there should have only one image in set B, right. For a single input there should be a single output also, right. Okay, that's why it is not a function. So by using the vertical line test, whatever may be the graph, so what you will do, you have to just draw a line by making parallel to the y-axis, or you can say draw a vertical line in the graph if the line cuts the graph at 2 points or 2 or more points, है ना. If that vertical line intersecting to the given graph at 2 or more points, then we can say that graph will not represent to a function. If it cuts the graph at a single point, then we can say it is a function. So let's see. Here we have 3 examples. For the first one, you can visualize here the first one. When I am drawing the vertical line, this is my vertical line, dotted line, this is my vertical line. Okay, this is my vertical line and this is my y is equal to f of x. So tell me whether it is a function or not. Yes, it is a function, because the vertical line intersecting to the given curve at a single point, That's why it is a function. Simple. Okay. Why the second one is not a function? Why it is not a function? Because when I am drawing the vertical line, it cuts the given graph at 2 points. That means for a single values of x, we are getting two values of y. That's why it is not a function. By the conditions of functions, or by the definition of functions, it is not satisfying. For a single element of x, we should have only one output, that is y. Okay. So for here, what we are getting, for x1 we are getting y1 and y2, which is violating our definition. So that's why it is not a function. In the last one also, when I am drawing here you have a ellipse, and when I am drawing the vertical line, it is intersecting the curve. It is intersecting the given curve at 2 points for a single values of x. That's why it is not also function. If the line intersects the given curve at a single point, then we can say it is a function. It's very simple. Clear? Okay. Let's have a concept test. Okay. So let me know the answer. What is the answer for this concept test? Which of the following is a function? Which of the following graphs is or are function? Okay. Okay, guys. Let's respond in the chat box. Which of the following is or are function? Okay, let's check. Okay. So when I am drawing a vertical line, so it is intersecting for the first question. It is intersecting at a single point, and it is intersecting at a single point, right? That's why it is a function. Yes, it is a function. Okay. Okay. In the next one, it is a line, right? So when I'm drawing or when I'm plotting a vertical line making parallel to y-axis, it is also intersecting the given graph at a single point. That's why it is also a function. Yes. But in the third case, what is happening? Let's see. If I am drawing a vertical line for the third question, it is also intersecting the given graph at a single point, right? At a single point. That's why it is also a function. So all of the given graphs are functions. When we cannot say it is a function, if the vertical line, suppose in this way, I will take an example here. If I'll draw a vertical line here, it is intersecting the given graph at 2 points, right? For a single values of x. That's why it is not a function. But in all the three cases, it is the vertical line intersecting all the graphs at a single point. That's why these graphs are represented to the function. Okay. I hope this is clear to all of you guys. Respond in the chat box if you have any doubt. We have a lot of concepts in functions. Okay. And all of you must understand it's a revised class. It's a revision class. We are trying to cover all the concepts in a single class, right? So the class may be fast. Okay. Chalo, it will help you in the exam only. Okay. Chalo. Okay. Let's see. What is domain, codomain, and range? Okay. What is domain, codomain, and range? Okay. Chalo, मैं directly तुम्हें ले सकता हूँ पूरा, है ना? Suppose you have a function f which is mapping from the set A to B. So what is domain? The set A is the domain of the function. Set B is the codomain of function. But what is range? Set of all mapped elements, that is set of all values of y in set B is my range. Simply, in these examples, you can understand what is domain, codomain, and range. Okay, here you are having a function that is mapping from A to B. Suppose this is my function, and A is having the elements 1, 2, 3, 4, and B is having the elements 1 to 10. Okay, okay. So you have to tell me what is domain. Domain is actually the set A. Okay. Codomain क्या है? The codomain is total set, whole set B. And range क्या है? Now set of all mapped elements in set B. So all mapped elements कौन कौन है भाई? 3, 4. So 4 नहीं है ना? 3, 5, 7, 9. 3579 my is range. What is codomain? Codomain हो जाएगा total set B. And what is domain? 1, 2, 3, 4. That is the set A having the elements. Okay. Is it clear to all of you guys? Okay. In other words, also we can say what is domain, codomain, and range. Right. So you can see here. I can. Okay. Simply, I'm trying to understand you. What is domain? Domain is actually, remember, set of all inputs. All inputs. Set of all inputs for which function is defined. है ना? This is my domain. Range क्या हो जाएगा ना? Set of all outputs. Okay. And codomain क्या हो जाएगा? This is my domain. This is my range. And codomain क्या हो जाएगा? What is codomain? The whole set, the largest set present, है ना? The largest set whole set B. You can say set B is my codomain, right? I hope this is clear to all of you guys. Clear? है ना? So what is domain, range, and codomain? Let's see. Example है. यहाँ पे तुम्हारे पास एक example है. एक activity है. We'll try to solve this activity. Okay. Suppose you have a set A which is having the elements 1, 2, 3, and B has another set having the elements 1, 4, 8, 9, right? And the function is defined as y is equal to x square. You know, y is equal to x square, where x belongs to the set A and y belongs to the set B. You know? So you have to find the domain, codomain, and range, right? Domain, codomain, and range. This is my set A. Okay. So try this one. You have to find. Try this one. How many of you got the answers? Let me know in the chat box. What is your domain? What is codomain? And what is range? Can you respond in the chat box, guys? Can you respond in the chat box? Yes. It's a very simple function. No? Y is equal to x square. YouTube guys, respond in the chat box. What is domain for this function? What is codomain? And what is range of this function? Okay. चलो ठीक है. Let's see the answer. Answer क्या हो जाएगा? देखो. Okay. Here is, this is my function f, which is mapping from set A to B, right? A is having the elements 1, 2, 3, and 1 has image in set B, that is 1. 2 has image in set B, that is 4. 3 has image 9, है ना? That is present in set B, है ना? तो domain क्या हो जाएगा ना? Domain is actually the set A. Simply we can say ना, so set of all output inputs. So input मेरा क्या हो गया? 1, 2, 3 are my inputs. The set of all input is my domain. Range क्या हो जाएगा? What is range? Range is set of all mapped elements. So mapped elements in set B, that is 1, 4, 9, है ना? So 1, 4, 9 is my range. Okay. And codomain क्या हो जाएगा? तो total set B is codomain, that is 1, 4, 8, 9. It's very simple, है ना? Clear है ना सबको? Is it clear to all of you guys? बोलो. ठीक है? Okay. Okay. चलो. हाँ. So here real value, what is real value function and what is real function, है ना? So real value function कब बोलेंगे हम? Now when f is mapping from A to B, it should to be real valued function if its range is a subset of R. That is, the range must be a subset of the set of real numbers. Okay. In that case, we can say that function is real value. When we can say real function, now both domain and range is subset of R, है ना? Domain भी subset होना चाहिए R का and range भी subset होना चाहिए R. Then we can say it is a real function. Okay. So here we have some important notes. So what are those actually? So by taking this last example, suppose you don't have given anything. Here I am taking f is a function which is mapping from the set of all real numbers to all real numbers. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Domain is not given. Okay. Suppose you don't know what is the domain. Leave all these things. What I'm saying, suppose I'm taking a function that is f of x is equal to x square. Tell me what is the domain. Yes. Anyone wants to ask anything? Right? Who is this? चलो ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है। Okay, let's see. What is the domain of this function? What I have told you, the set of all inputs for which function is defined, right? Set of all inputs for which function is defined. Then we can say that is the domain. So set of all, matlab in place of x, what are the values we can take for x for which f of x is defined? What are the all possible values? So in place of x, we can take any real number. That's why this is my domain. So when the domain is not given to you, then you have to take the largest set for which function is defined. You have to take the set of all inputs for which function is defined. Function is defined, matlab, that means you can find for all real values of x, you will get a value y, right? Okay? And what is the range? What is the range of this function? You can say, what is the range of this function? Yes, very good. Empower math, Jay. It's very good. So what is the range of this function? Range क्या होता है? Tell me quickly. What is the range of this function? It's a mathematical machine, x square, है ना? इसको हम कुछ भी, if we'll give any real number as input to this function, it will make it positive, right? मतलब कोई भी नंबर कोई भी रियल नंबर तुम इसको दे दो, the function makes those inputs as positive values. When you will give -2, it will give you 4, है ना? When you will give 0, it will give you 0. When you will give 2, it gives you 4, है ना? Likewise, so कुछ भी number, any number you can take in place of x and you will get positive value, right? So that's why the range is from 0 to infinity. 0 to infinity. We cannot take negative numbers in the set of range because it is a function which makes all the real numbers in positive value, right? I hope this is clear to all of you guys. Okay. If the domain is not given, then you have to take the largest set for which my function must be defined. That is my domain. Range क्या हो जाएगा? The set of all output is your domain. Range. ठीक है? Okay. चलो. So let's move. Now we'll see values attained by function on element of domain. Yeah, very good. So let's see. We'll see some types of functions. First one is identity function. So what is identity function? It's a function which is mapping from R to R, which domain is R, which codomain is given as R here, and range is R also, right? And the graph of this identity function is a straight line. Y is equal to x. That is f of x is equal to x is known as identity function. I hope this is already known to you. This is a very known function, that is identity function. Y is equal to f of x is equal to x. And y is equal to x. This is the line of y is equal to x. Na? ठीक है ना? So this is called my identity function, and in this case domain is R. Why domain is R? Because you can check from graph also. For each values of x, we are getting one values of y. That's why the domain is R. And also in the y-axis you can observe also the graph goes from -infinity to infinity. That's why the range is R. -infinity to infinity means that is range. That is real number. Yeah. Okay. So this is my identity function. Next function is constant function. What is constant function? The constant function is y is equal to f of x is equal to c. मतलब कोई भी number तुम ले लो. If you will take f of x is equal to 5, right? So this is a line, y is equal to 5. This is a line which is parallel to x-axis. Suppose this point is my 0c. You can observe from the graph also. This point is my 0c, and this is the line which is f of x is equal to c or y is equal to c, which is parallel to x-axis, right? So what is the domain here? Domain is R. But what is the range? Range. What is the value of y? What are the values of y? Only one values of y you are getting for all values of x, right? So that's why the range is only c. Okay. So in this case, what is the range? For this function, what is the range? Only my range is 5. Range क्या हो जाएगा मेरा 5. So generally we have taken here c. That's why the range is c. ठीक है? And domain क्या हो जाएगा R. because r is also already given, but if it is not given to you, then you can say also this is domain is r. Why? For all real x, y is defined. That's why the domain is r. It's very simple. है ना? Constant function हो गया हमारा. Let's move to the next function. That is polynomial function. It is already known to all of you guys. Okay? Polynomial का form ही होता है quadratic equation में. आप लोग 10th class में पढ़े होंगे. This is the polynomial function, and in place of polynomial function, these are some examples. Okay, let's move. And 0 per degree polynomial, linear polynomial, quadratic polynomial, cubic polynomial by degree wise. These are defined. No need to waste time here. Okay, graph of some polynomial function. This is a straight line parallel to x-axis. This is a straight line which is passing through the origin. This is also a linear function. All straight lines represents to a linear function. Okay, but in case of quadratic function, it represents to a parabola. Right? Quadratic function का graph ऐसे होगा. ठीक है? चलो. So let's move. Yes, this is graph of y is equal to x square, which is representing to a parabola passing tosses to the origin. Right? Y is equal to x square का graph ये है, and this is the graph of y is equal to x cube. है ना? This is also a polynomial function. Right? चलो ठीक है. Next, now we'll see the important function, that is rational. What is rational function? है ना? A function which is in the form of p of x upon q of x, where p of x must be a polynomial and q of x must be a polynomial. You know what is polynomial? You know, na? No need to explain what is polynomial. You know, so degree must be whole number, right? Degree must be a whole number of the expression. You know? So that means p of x and q of x, both numerator and denominator must be a polynomial expression. Then we can say f of x is a rational function, where q of x, that denominator must not be equal to 0. Why? If the denominator becomes 0, then the function will not be defined, right? अरे मुझे पता है ना, something upon 0 is not defined ना. That's why. So q of x must not equal to 0. This is my rational function. Some examples here I have taken f of x and g of x, where these are two rational functions. Okay. See here, this is also a polynomial. 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 So these are some examples of rational functions. Let's check how we can find the domain of a rational function. है ना? Domain of a rational function को हम कैसे find out करेंगे? ठीक है? So step to find domain of a rational function. Suppose you have a function. By example, I am trying to understand it. Okay, f of x is equal to 2x plus 1. Again I am writing f of x is equal to 2x plus 1 upon 3x minus 2. है ना? The first step is you have to solve the denominator is not equal to 0, because if the denominator becomes 0, then the function will not be defined, right? So that's why what I'm doing, 3x minus 2 is not equal to 0 को मैं solve किया, so x is must be not equal to 2/3, right? So the domain क्या हो जाएगा ना, domain is actually r minus 2 upon 3. So except 2 upon 3, my function is defined everywhere in the real number, right? That's why the domain becomes r minus 2 upon 3. है ना? तो first step क्या है ना, set the denominator is not equal to 0 and solve it for x. Set of all real numbers other than the values of x mentioned in the last step is the domain. है ना? So except the value 2/3 in the set of real numbers, it is called domain, right? Is it clear to all of you guys? Okay, let's move. How can we find the range of a rational function? So for this particular concept, how to find range of a rational function, in 12th class we'll go through this concept very deeply, and we have many types of rational functions. For some special type of functions, we have some more special approaches also. So in class 12th we'll try to understand. Okay, so the basic idea about how can we find the range of a rational function, that is actually here. We are taking one example, then you can easily understand. है ना? So simply you have to write the function, given function, as y is equal to 2x plus 1 upon 3x minus 2. है ना? Then try to convert this y is equal to 2x plus 1 upon 3x minus 2. है ना? Try to convert this function in terms of x. कैसे? Now if you cross multiply, you will get 3xy minus 2y is equal to 2x plus 1, and then After simplifying, I'm getting x is equal to 2y plus 1 upon 3y minus 2. So for the range, we need the values of y. It's very simple. Right? Listen to me carefully. For the range, we need the values of y. Right? Understood or not? Okay. So for which values of y, x is not defined. That is my range. So we need the values of y. Simple. So here, x is equal to 2y plus 1 upon 3y minus 2. So when this is not defined, so when the denominator is not equal to 0, that is 3y minus 2 is not equal to 0. So y क्या हो गया ना, y is equal to 2/3 हो गया है ना, y is 2/3 है ना. So the range क्या हो जाएगा, range will be here, range क्या हो जाएगा ना, y must be not equal to 2/3. That is the value of y cannot be 2/3 ना, the value of y cannot be 2/3. तो रेंज क्या हो जाएगा मेरा ना, r minus 2/3 है ना. तो रेंज कैन बी r minus 2/3. y belongs to r and y is not equal to 2/3 है ना, because we need all the values of y. Clear? ठीक है ना. So in this way we can find the range of a rational function. ठीक है. So here you have a concept test. You have to find here the domain and range of the function y is equal to 2x plus 3 by x. Right? चलो try to find what is the domain and range of this function. It's very simple. Try to find which of the following options are correct. Let me know in the chat box, guys. Let me know in the chat box. Yes, we have very less time. In the next class tomorrow, this will be completed because more concepts also. We have many functions, modular functions, signum function, greatest integer functions, fractional part functions also we have, and we need to understand also the algebra function. So in the next class we will try to complete. I think in this class it will not be completed. Let's see what happens. So what is the domain and range of this function? Let me know in the chat box. Yes. Okay. Let's see what is the solution. Okay. The answer is option B, r minus 0 and r minus 2. Here I am solving it. Okay. So how can you find? Yes. Option B. Very good. Then B. Yavtamal. Okay. Very good. Option is correct. Option is B. Very good. Okay. Y is equal to 2x plus 3 by x. Right. So first we have to find the domain. So for domain, to find the domain of a rational function, what we are doing? We should first see when the denominator becomes 0, that is x must not be equal to 0. If x becomes 0, then my function will not be defined. So when x is equal to 0, function will be y is equal to 2x plus 3 by 0. So in this case, function is not defined. So what is the domain? Domain will be set of all real numbers except 0. This is my domain. So what is the range? For range, to find the range of a rational function, what should you do? You have to first write the function in terms of y is equal to x, right? So here already we have written y is equal to 2x plus 3 by x. So just cross multiply. Here I'm getting xy is equal to 2x plus 3, right? So see, if I'll take xy 2x to this minus left hand side, xy minus 2x is equal to 3. And if we take the common, x as common, x common ले जाएंगे तो y minus 2 is equal to 3. Then we are getting x is equal to 3 upon y minus 2. हो गया मेरा भाई, आंसर मिल गया है ना. So here we need the values of y, है ना. We need the values of y for which x is defined, right? ठीक है, that is my range. So here first मुझे क्या करना चाहिए? For this function to be defined, मुझे क्या करना चाहिए? Y minus 2 must not be equal to 0. That is y is not equal to 2, है ना. So range क्या हो जाएगा ना? Set of all real numbers except 2. So answer is option B. R minus 0 is my domain and R minus 2 is my range. Clear? है ना? सबको समझ में आ गया बच्चे? बोलो. If it is clear to all of you guys, just give your thumbs up by emoji. Here, chal. This is the solution of the previous question. You can take. Okay. Now we'll see what is exponential function, right? All of you know what is exponential function, right? So that is the standard form is f of x is equal to a raised to x. Very good. A raised to x. But but there are two conditions only, है ना? F of x is equal to a raised to x is my exponential function. For these functions, we have two conditions. Either first condition is either a is lying between 0 and 1 or a is greater than 1. है ना? There are two conditions for only these two conditions my function f of x is equal to a raised to x is defined. है ना? ठीक है? So there are two conditions. First one is a is lying between 0 and 1, and second one is a is greater than 1. So in first case, what is happening? We'll see, and in the second case, what is happening? We'll see. Okay. When a is lying between 0 and 1, what is happening? And when a is greater than 1, what is happening? So let's take an example. First, we are taking the example of when a is greater than 1. Here a is equal to 2. Here a is equal to 2. Right? So a is greater than 1. We are taking the first condition. Okay, I'm trying to draw the graph. I have taken some values of x, and also we are getting here some values of y. Right? Zenbi Vishnupur, do you have any questions? You have any questions? You can ask in the chat box. You have raised your hand. Okay, let's start. If you don't have any questions, you should go. So f of x is equal to 2 raised to x. Here a is greater than 1, right? For x, we have taken some values of x and we are getting some values of y. And plot all these points in the Cartesian plane. I have plotted all these points in the Cartesian plane. And I'm trying to join all these points in the plane. So what we are getting? We are getting a curve which does not intersect the x-axis. देखो x-axis को ना कभी भी intersect नहीं करेगा. Why it is not intersecting the x-axis? Because when we are taking, मतलब देखो, when it will be 0, that means when the graph will be intersecting the x-axis, that means the value of y is 0. So tell me, for which values of x you are getting y is equal to 0? Is there any such values? Is there any such values? Can you say? There is some. Is there any values of x for which y becomes 0? No, never. So that's why it will not intersect to the x-axis, and its nature is asymptotic in nature. Asymptotic nature. छोड़ो, ये सब बाद में देख लेना. But this is the graph of 2 raised to x, and the main important thing is always when the base of the exponential function is greater than 1, always the graph will be intersecting the y-axis at the point 0, 1. है ना? ठीक है? Let's see another example. Okay, this is my when a is lying between 0 and 1, because here a is given as 1 by 2. A is given as 1 by 2. That is lying between 0 and 1. ठीक है ना? So अगर ये 0 1 के बीच में हो रहा है, so for some I have taken some values of x and also we are getting some values of y. So what I'm doing, first try to plot all these points in the plane and join all these points. So you will get like this function. This is my x-axis. It is not my x-axis. This is my x-axis. Okay, this is my x-axis. So this is our graph. Never ever the graph of exponential functions will touch or will not be intersecting to the x-axis. कभी भी ये intersect नहीं करेगी x-axis को. ठीक है? Remember, and always remember the graph of all the exponential function will be intersecting y-axis at the point 0, 1, because when we'll take the value of x is equal to 0, we are getting y is equal to 1, because half raised to 0 is 1. Na? So always remember the graph of exponential function will be intersecting y-axis at the point 0, 1. Always. I hope this is clear to all of you guys. Okay, in your room you can try to draw all these graphs also. Na? So what is the difference? When the base is greater than 1, it is the increasing graph. It is a increasing graph, right? But when the base is lying between 0 and 1, it is a decreasing graph. What is that? It is a decreasing graph. Remember, this is the difference. And what is the similarity? What are the similarity? Now all the graph of exponential function will be intersecting the y-axis at the point 0 and 1. Right? Clear? Okay. And another thing, what I'm trying to say. Forward. Okay. So this is all about your exponential function. Okay. Yes. So you can ask one question also, sir. Why you are taking the value of a in between 0 and 1 and a is greater than 1? Why you are not taking a as any negative value? Yeah. Why I am not taking the value of a as any negative value? Because when you will take any negative value, suppose you can draw y like this. Suppose you can take y is equal to minus 2 raised to x. So the graph of this function will not follow a certain pattern. ये देखो, ये जो when a is greater than 1, it is follow a certain pattern. It is intersecting the y-axis at the point 0 and 1, and it is also increasing function. But in when the value of a is in between 0 and 1 you are taking, then the graph is decreasing and also it is intersecting the y-axis at the 0 point. But when you will take the value of a as minus 2, then the graph will not be uncertain. It will not follow any pattern, and it will be zigzag type, right? So that's why we are not, mathematicians are not including these negative values of a in the exponential function concept, right? We are excluding these negative values of x. When you will draw the graph of minus 2 raised to x, you will understand, right? You will get a zigzag type value, a zigzag type graph. It will not follow any pattern. That's why. Okay. So when the exponential function will be defined, now a must be lying between 0 and 1, or a must be greater than 1. There are two conditions for exponential function to be defined, right? Clear? Okay. And one important thing also, always the value of exponential function is positive. See, you can see all the graph of exponential functions always lying above the x-axis. That means all the values of y are positive. Simple. So, okay. This is all about your exponential function. So tell me, what is the range? What is the domain of this function? Domain is R. You can take any real number in place of x. That means domain becomes my R. And what is the range? Range is 0 to infinity. It can't be 0. It can't be 0. Where 0 is excluded. 0 to infinity. Because it does not intersect the x-axis. That's why the value can't be 0. So that is the range, the value of y R goes from x-axis, above x-axis to just above 0 to infinity. That is always positive. But 0 se bada hai. Okay? I hope this is all clear to all of you guys. Range is 0 to infinity and domain is R. This is all about your exponential function. Okay. In the next class, we'll start from logarithm function. Also, we have greatest integer function, modulus function, fractional part function, signum function, and some algebra functions we'll see in the next class. Right? Okay. So now it's time to end the class. Thank you all, guys. This is all about your today's session. I'm launching the NPS poll. You can respond here. Okay. Thank you all. And tomorrow I will share some sheet with you in the screen also. You can take a screenshot and you can solve in your room also. Those will help you in the exam pattern. Okay. Okay, guys. Thank you all.